Westminster erupts. Anderson's Be a Man democracy bomb. Shell shatters PMQs. The quiet decorum of Prime Minister's questions was incinerated today as Reform UK's Lee Anderson launched a political missile that didn't just hit Labour leader Keir Starmer, it targeted the very clockwork of British democracy. This wasn't routine sparring, it was a detonation of the growing political realignment, leaving a shockwave that has already turned social media into a bonfire and forced the establishment to look over its shoulder. The attack. Go on, be a man. The flashpoint came when Anderson, the pugnacious Reform MP for Ashfield, abandoned all pretense of parliamentary civility. His opening salvo accused Labour of playing dog-whistle politics, but the real sting was in his follow-up. Anderson demanded a categorical guarantee from Starmer. Will local elections postponed this year, and those scheduled for next, proceed without fail in May 2026? Then came the clip that's now the political soundbite of the week, racing across every platform. Go on, be a man, let's have a straight answer, let's see your democratic credentials. This wasn't a policy debate, it was a personal and fundamental challenge to Starmer's commitment to voter accountability. Anderson's framing is simple and lethal. Are you dodging the electorate because you fear the rise of Reform UK? The data. Why this question matters. This challenge is not mere theatre. It is rooted in concrete political momentum and administrative opacity. The postponement issue. Multiple local elections were indeed delayed this year under the guise of government reorganisation plans. For an insurgent party like Reform, any delay fuels the narrative that the establishment is rigging the game to protect itself. Reform's ground game and polling surge. Reform UK is no longer just a protest vote. Anderson cited claims which require full verification of £330 million in savings identified by Reform-led councils in areas like Boston and Great Yarmouth. More critically, national surveys from firms like YouGov, Ipsos, and Electoral Calculus consistently show Reform polling in the low to mid-20 seconds, a monumental figure for a third party. They are building a verified local base, translating dissatisfaction into actual council seats. The accountability gap. If the May 2026 elections proceed, Reform gets its most significant electoral test to date, potentially validating their national polling. If they are delayed, it plays directly into their central message: the system is corrupt and fears your vote. Starmer's evasion, the managerial pivot. Keir Starmer's response was a masterclass in classic Westminster evasion. He first attempted to deflate the tension with a joke about Anderson doing stand-up comedy, then immediately pivoted to attacking Reform leader Nigel Farage over past controversial comments from a Reform MP. Crucially, he did not answer the question. For Starmer, whose brand is one of competent managerialism and steady leadership, dodging a direct question about the timing of democratic accountability is a significant political risk. It feeds the exact narrative Anderson is spinning, that Labour is an institutional insider protecting itself from the disruptive outsider force. The real stakes: insider versus insurgent. This clash is a microcosm of the political earthquake shaking Britain. The old conservative Labour binary is fracturing. Anderson, Reform, represents the insurgent populism. He speaks plainly, using confrontational language that resonates with the large, angry, and polarised segment of the electorate that feels betrayed on issues from Brexit to the cost of living. His appeal is rooted in telling it like it is and demanding disruptive change. Starmer, Labour, represents the establishment governance. He projects a careful, grown-up, and risk-averse image. His strength is perceived stability. His weakness is that this very caution can be framed as institutional cowardice and avoidance of hard truths. Voters are deeply skeptical. Poll after poll confirms profound distrust in politicians. Reform is capitalizing on this sentiment, much like the successful Brexit and 2019 Johnson campaigns before them. The unanswered question, May 2026. The political clock is ticking. The core issue remains: will British voters get their say in May 2026? Democracy is predicated on regular, timely accountability. Starmer's silence is politically amplified because the reform insurgency is currently the most compelling story in UK politics. If Labour continues to be vague, the story will morph from a parliamentary spat into a crisis of democratic trust. If Anderson's polling gains translate into real-world ballots in those local elections, the political map of Britain is set for an unprecedented multi-party fight in the next general election. Today, Anderson didn't just attack a man, he put a clock on Starmer's claim to democratic legitimacy. The nation is now waiting to see if the Labour leader has the political courage to stop dodging and answer the simplest, most fundamental of all questions: yes or no.